You did it again today. Someone sent you a text, a simple question. A no would have been completely fine, but instead, you wrote a paragraph. You typed out an excuse, a long, detailed story, a clinical justification. You spent 5 minutes adjusting the tone, making sure it sounded soft, making sure they wouldn't get mad. You think you were just being polite, but you weren't. You were begging for permission to say no. Think about how exhausting your phone has become. Every time a notification pops up, your chest tightens. Every time you decline a simple invitation, your heart skips. You draft the message 3 times in your notes app before sending it. You delete words that sound too direct. You add exclamation points to look enthusiastic. You sprinkle in emojis just to prove you aren't angry. Because in your head, a simple personal boundary feels like an actual crime. And if you don't present enough physical evidence, you assume they will judge you. You assume they will think you are a selfish person. So you over-explain. You tell them about your exhausting work schedule, your family obligations, your lack of sleep, your sudden headache. You lay out your whole private life on a silver platter. You expose your vulnerability, hoping they will look at it and say, okay, your excuse is valid. You are allowed to stay home. But what happens when you don't have a good excuse? What happens when you just want to sit on your couch in silence? That's when the panic sets in. Because to you, just wanting to rest is not a legal defense. Every time you do this, you think you are protecting the relationship. You think you are being a good friend, a considerate partner, an empathetic human being. But you are actually doing the exact opposite. By over explaining, you are dropping your armor and handing them the blade. You are giving them a detailed checklist of your reasons. And by doing that, you are inviting them to negotiate your life. Let's look at how this plays out. When you say, I can't come to your party because my car is making a weird noise, you aren't stating a boundary. You are giving them an engineering problem to solve. And because they want you there, they will solve it. They will say, don't worry, I can call an Uber for you. Or, I can ask Mark to pick you up on his way. And suddenly, you are trapped. Your chest locks up. You are trapped because you didn't have the courage to just say, I can't make it tonight. Now, you have to invent a second lie to cover the first one. You have to say your head hurts or that you have to wake up early. You gave away your authority. You told them through your actions that your personal desires are only valid if they approve of the logistics. You became a prisoner of your own elaborate excuses. This isn't just a bad communication habit you picked up along the way. This is a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. Your brain is treating other people's potential disappointment like a literal threat to your safety. We need to look at where that software was programmed. When you were a child, saying no wasn't a safe option. In your household, a boundary was seen as disrespect. Saying no meant triggering an adult's anger. It meant receiving the cold shoulder for hours or even days. It meant emotional abandonment. You learned very early that to keep yourself safe, you had to manage the emotions of the adults around you. You became an expert at reading the room. You monitored the tone of their voice, the sound of their footsteps. You realized that if you were loud enough with your justifications, people wouldn't notice you were pulling away. You became a defense attorney for your own existence before you even hit puberty. So now, as an adult, you are still running that exact same old trauma response. When your phone vibrates, you aren't reacting to your friend or your coworker. You are still that kid trying to avoid the heavy, dangerous silence in the family living room. You are drowning in adult guilt over an imaginary scenario your brain created to keep you safe. The psychological paradox of over explaining is that the more you do it, the less people actually trust you. Think about the people in your life who have high self esteem. True confidence speaks in very short sentences. When someone secure tells you, I can't make it tonight, sorry, you don't think they are lying to you. You don't get angry. You just think they are busy and you move on. But when someone sends you a detailed timeline of their entire afternoon to justify why they can't grab a quick coffee, your intuition immediately flags it. You instinctively know something is off. They sound like they are hiding something. By over explaining, you are trying so hard to look innocent that you end up looking incredibly guilty. You trigger the exact suspicion and judgment you were trying to run away from. You are sacrificing your personal integrity just to buy 30 seconds of temporary emotional comfort. You are abandoning your own truth so that someone else won't abandon their perception of you. And the most frustrating part of all, most of the time, the other person didn't even care about the reason. They just wanted a quick yes or no so they could make their plans. You gave them a full psychological drama, and they just wanted a text message. The real silent tragedy of the over explaining trap isn't how it affects your friendships, it's what it slowly does to your identity over time. Every single time you justify a basic personal choice, you send a clear message to your own subconscious mind. You are telling yourself, my needs are secondary. My comfort doesn't matter unless someone else validates it. You are training your brain to believe that you do not actually own your own life. You begin to treat your time, your energy, and your private space like stolen goods. And because you feel like a thief, you are constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting to get caught. You start to believe that you owe everyone an explanation for simply taking up space on this planet. Let me remind you of something your anxiety wants you to forget. You do not need a jury to approve your weekend plans. You do not need a judge to sign off on your mental health days. The exact moment you feel the internal need to prove that you have a right to say no, you have already lost your freedom. You have handed the remote control of your emotional state to whoever is holding the phone on the other side. Listen to me very carefully. No is a complete sentence. I can't make it is a fully valid explanation. I don't want to is a legal reason to change your mind. The people who truly love you, the ones who respect your soul, do not need a massive case file to keep loving you. They don't need you to be exhausted or sick to allow you to rest. And the people who do demand a case file, the ones who question your excuses and make you feel guilty, they never actually cared about your reasons anyway. They just cared about their level of control over you. Stop building an alibi for your life. You do not need to be broken, sick, or busy to deserve your own time. You are allowed to just exist. You are allowed to say no without adding an apology to the end of it. Take a very deep breath right now. Open your phone. Look at that paragraph you were about to send. Select all and delete it. Write, I can't make it, but hope you have fun. And press send. If you felt completely exposed by this video, hit subscribe. Let's stop hiding together.